Let us pray. No man should ever undertake any great or important undertaking without first invoking the blessing of God. Master's admonition, California Free and Accepted Masons. The whole secret may be summarized in these 4 words: inflame thyself in praying. One of the most fundamental and important magical tools Dee used throughout his life was prayer. So, before we begin to examine magic rings and protective breastplates and holy tables and other such wizardly items, we need to first get something straight about prayer. It's okay to pray. Even if you think you don't believe in the same God that Dee and Kelly believed in, it's okay to pray. I realize for many 21st century magicians the word prayer carries with it unpleasant memories of childhood church and Sunday school traumas, and bedtime fears that if I die before I wake somebody was going to take my soul to God knows where. By the simple act of uttering a prayer, our apparently limited consciousness reaches out and makes contact with a higher level of consciousness, and by doing so, we insert ourselves into the divine circuitry of the cosmos. As we do, part of us wakes up, as it were, and recognizes our rightful place in this circuitry. The 3rd lesson of the Book of Kings 40 tells us that at the beginning of his reign the Lord appeared to Solomon in a vision by night and said, "Ask that which I should give you." Solomon answered, "Give therefore to thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people and to discern between good and bad, for who is able to judge this thy so great a people?" And it pleased the Lord because Solomon had asked this thing. And the Lord said to Solomon, "Because you have asked this thing and have not asked for yourself riches, neither have you asked the lives of your enemies, nor have you asked for yourself long life, but have asked for yourself wisdom to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to your words. Lo, I have given you a wise and understanding heart, so that there has been none like you before you, neither shall any arise after you like you." Before undertaking the task of ruling his people and building the temple, Solomon doesn't begin by consulting with his inferiors. He doesn't immediately enmesh himself in the energy-draining details of micromanaging such a huge and important project. Instead, he turns his attention upward to the highest level of the hierarchical scale of consciousness. He makes direct contact with deity and, instead of behaving like a helpless youngster asking a parent for pocket money, he boldly makes himself available to serve as a conduit through which the deity's infinite wisdom and understanding can pass. This is the primary secret of Solomonic magic. As long as the magician remains plugged into that which is above, he or she is simultaneously plugged into that which is below. 43 D's prayers, both in English and Latin, fill page after page of his diaries and magical records. I confess I am neither inclined nor devotionally equipped to follow his exhausting example. I do, however, recognize the efficacy of prayer as an indispensable preliminary to magical operations. And, while I do not personally believe that the biblical Solomon ever existed as such in empirical history, as a magical artist I embrace his myth and happily adopt him as a patron saint of magic.